வணக்கம் வணக்கம் வணக்கம்.
Today we're going to be making Achu Murukku. This is not only popular in Tamil Nadu, but also Spain, Mexico, and other Hispanic regions. To make Achu Murukku, set the mold in oil 1 to 2 days prior to use. This mold is the one traditionally used in Tamil Nadu, and this one is the one we bought that is more typically used in Mexico. To make Achu Murukku, you need 2 cups of uncooked rice, 1.5 cup of sugar, 2 eggs, 1 cup of shredded coconuts, fresh or frozen. Fresh is preferred, but we're using frozen. And then 1 tablespoon of sesame. Make sure to wash the rice well. We typically wash the rice 3 times purely from tradition. And after washing it, let it soak in water for an hour to an hour and a half. After letting the rice soak, drain the water out. We use a palm leaf basket, but a drainer works just as well. After draining the water out, take out a grinder or a coffee blender and blend the rice. And grind the rice into powder. After the rice is grinded, shift the rice and regrind the excess ungrounded rice over again until it is also a fine powder. This is what the powder looks like in the end. After grinding the rice, get the cup of coconut shreds and put it in the mixer. Then add 1 cup of water, and this will make coconut milk. Put the coconut and the water in the mixer and mix for a minute. Afterwards, pour it and drain it out to make coconut milk. We typically make 3 coconut milks, meaning after making the first one, we add half a cup of water, remix it, and then put it in a second cup and call this the second coconut. You could do this typically 1 to 3 times. To make the second milk, use the already used coconut shreds, put it in the mixer again, add half a cup of water, and remix it for a minute. The same applies to the third time. Make sure to pour it in a separate cup.
நம்ம இதுக்கு கலக்கும்போது முதல் பாலை முதல்லையும் அது தேவைப்பட்ட 2வது பால்
We typically only use the first milk, but the second milk and the third milk is in case you need it. After making the coconut milk, we're going to make the batter. Take the eggs and mix it up. And then gradually add in the sugar. After the sugar, add in the powdered rice gradually. And lastly, pour in the first coconut milk and mix it gradually. Take a spoon and stick it in the batter. To check the consistency, look at the back of the spoon, and if the batter sticks to the spoon, the consistency is correct. After checking the consistency, you could add in the sesame. Now heat up some oil and heat up some oil in high heat, and while it's heating, keep the mold in. The batter will usually only stick to the mold if it is heated up. Now pour the mold into the batter. Don't fully submerge the mold. And lightly shake it to get the batter off. Usually the first few times will stick to the mold and not come out correctly. Use a stick to poke it out. Keep the mold in the oil to make sure it retains the heat. If you use a non-stick mold, it's said to be easier. And because the batter doesn't stick to the curves and creases of the mold. Once the Achu Murukku turns into a nice golden color, it is ready. Take the Achu Murukku out of the batter. Okay, restart that. Now I could end this. Once taking the Achu Murukku out of the oil, make sure it is upside down so the oil drains out. If the batter does not stick to the mold, you could add in some flour to make it sticky. Now we're going to try the Mexican mold. It wasn't that big of a success. Only 1 or 2 of the Murukku came out correctly. the batter didn't stick to it correctly. Once we figure it out, you could probably get it right. Achu Murukku is easy to make at home. Achu Murukku is an easy recipe to follow and make at home. 1 cup of the batter typically makes 15 achu murukku depending on the mold size. Once it's cooled, you could keep the murukku in an airtight container for several months, and you could layer tissues between it to drain the oil up. Now, if you have some leftover batter that the mold just won't submerge in, you could make bhaji. To make bhaji, add half a banana in and mash it and add it to the batter. Make sure to nicely mash it. You can make around 5 to 10 bhaji. Lightly pour in the bhaji batter. Once the bhaji turns a nice golden brown, you could also remove it. It's a quick recipe to make sure the batter doesn't go to waste.